Hi guys! Today I decided to record a video about my infertility journey. I don't know when I'm gonna release this video. The day when I'm recording this video is the 10th of January 2022. God knows when I will release it and will I release it at all. So now I am pregnant 9 weeks and 5 days. So it was really a miracle. If you want to know what we did different, first of all, I decided to become vegan. Second, I started to take Vitex and I started to take coenzyme Q10 ubiquinone and some prenatal vitamins. Also, I was checking my basal temperature. That's it. But let me go back approximately 10 years ago or 15 years ago and I'll tell you what was happening to my body and what the doctors were saying. Even by now I still can't believe that I'm pregnant, because so many doctors told me that I won't be able to get pregnant in a natural way. They were saying go to IVF, and of course when I have heard that in the USA I was shocked. I couldn't leave. I just was crying for a few days non-stop. But I remember the words of some doctors in Ukraine, like highest ranking doctors, and they said, yes, your situation is a little bit different and maybe it will be hard for you to get pregnant, but you will get pregnant and you will be able to carry this baby for 9 months. But they said, yes, you will have to stay in bed for most of the time. So I was like, okay, the hope dies the last minute. So I was trying to search what is the natural way to treat my condition, and I found that Vitex can do some magic, and it really did some magic. But you know, don't believe the doctors purely, because the doctor who I saw in the USA, she said, you know, all your results are saying that you don't ovulate and you cannot get pregnant. So then I went for a second opinion to a doctor. It is a top clinic in Ukraine, and yes, consultation there was pretty expensive. But I just talked to her and she said, yeah, I saw the results which you sent me, and she said they are really strange. It seems as if you were already after menopause. I was like, are you serious? She's like, that's pretty strange numbers. So I told her when I did the test, they did the test in the middle of the cycle, which is not correct. For a woman, she's supposed to get her blood tested on the second, third or the fourth day of her cycle. So they did the test somewhere in the middle. Of course, the numbers were extremely high. And she was like, that's really strange. You are not in that age that the numbers would be extremely high. And she also told me, go and do ultrasound. And she told me that ultrasound should be made on the 6th or 7th day of the period. Because she told me, I think that you have endometriosis and plus your prolactin is pretty high. So she said, like, maybe because of that you cannot get pregnant. But first of all, she said maybe because of prolactin. But she said you need to do another test, but on different dates. I realized that my prolactin is really high. And you know, when I was reading different forums and I saw that the girls were saying, you know, I had high prolactin and that's why I couldn't get pregnant. And I was like, that's really strange, because you know, when I went to a doctor in the USA, I said, you know, I have some breast soreness. Can you please check? I was like, maybe I should go for mammography, something like that. I will find the word and I'll add here. And she touched my boobs. She's like, no, you are completely fine. And she said, you don't have any cancer or any lumps. So she said, like, you're fine. But I was like, but it hurts me all the time. Every single day I have pain in my boobs. And I was like, that's not normal. Okay, I understand when it's a period time. Yes, every woman has some different symptoms, but I had breast soreness. So, but she said, like, no, you're fine. But this doctor from Ukraine, she said that most probably you have high prolactin. And she was right. So I started to Google different natural ways and I found Vitex. So I read lots of stories, I watched lots of videos on YouTube, and I realized that yes, it can help me. So I started to take vitamins, and Vitex. But I bought very cheap Vitex because I didn't believe in that. But more and more I was researching, then I realized that it can cure my condition. And you know, it happened. I didn't believe that I got pregnant. I was like, no, it's impossible. You know, even by the second month, which was like 7 weeks, 8 weeks, I didn't believe that I'm pregnant. Because, you know, when so many doctors tell you you won't be able to get pregnant in a natural way, you start to believe in that story. But, you know, Vitex really regulated my hormones, so my prolactin went down and my estrogens, they were regulated, they started to go down, and my progesterone started to go up. So if you do basal temperature, you would see it on your chart that your estrogens, they are somewhere down and progesterone is high on the top, right? High, low, but still it should be on the top. So they go like this. But my case was estrogens, ovulation, estrogens, that's it. So at some point I thought that my thermometer is not working well, but then when I started to Google this information, it was saying that you have hormonal disbalance. I was like, what? How's this freaking possible? Before everything was so good and my body was functioning well. But don't forget that stress makes your hormones get crazy. It really messes up with your hormones. I never thought that it can work like this, but when I saw it on the chart, I was like, okay, now I have to deal with it. So, you know what? I also found that excluding meat from your diet helps a lot. I was kind of skeptical and I didn't believe in that story, but you know, when I excluded meat from my diet, I got pregnant. Miracle? Yeah, miracle. What I can tell you that exclude meat from your diet is pretty hard. I'm a meat lover, but the first time I've done it, I was like, I can't live without meat. But one of my friends said, do you understand that you will be putting on weight just because you're eating lots of vegetables and they contain lots of vitamins and nutrients, so you will be putting on weight. Okay, what about porridge? So I added more porridge in my diet, so I started to lose weight. But still, at some point I was like, that's it, I want meat. It was May or June 2021 and I got pregnant in November 2021. But it was the second time when I decided completely exclude meat. When I read online that if you exclude meat in order to get pregnant, but when you get pregnant, you start adding meat to your diet. When I went to the doctor, I told him that I don't eat meat, and so what's his suggestion? And he said, if you eat fish, then it's fine. I was eating salmon every second day or every third day, but it was like religiously. I knew that I excluded meat, so I need to add some kind of proteins to my diet. So I started to add fish to my diet, and I didn't like other fish except salmon, so I was like, okay, salmon it is. Basal temperature helped a lot because I started to understand how my body works, because I had zero clue what is ovulation and on which day of the cycle it happens. And this doctor from Ukraine, she told me, you need to track your ovulation. I was like, how? She's like, go to the pharmacy, get those stripes and try to track your ovulation. Then I was like, okay, I'll be tracking ovulation with my basal temperature, and it was really useful thing. Don't think that basal temperature should be measured only in your... You can do it in your mouth. I did it in my mouth. I was waking up every single day at 6:30. I have even a video on my YouTube channel that we wake up every day at 6:30. We were waking up at 6:30 just because of that, because I had to measure my body temperature. It was pretty hard. I cannot say that it was easy because, you know, when I started to do that, I'm the person who likes to go to bed pretty late, and it was really huge sacrifice for me to wake up every single day at 6:30. So what was happening to my body? I was waking up at 5 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, and I was like, oh, did I measure my temperature? It took me 1 month to get to the point that I would sleep 5-6 hours without waking up, because basal temperature you have to measure only when you slept for 5-6 hours. So it took me 1 month to adjust, and then at 10 o'clock I'm like, I want to sleep. But before, never ever, I would go to bed at 10 o'clock or even at 11. I used to go to bed at 12, at 1 a.m. And yes, my work always let me go to it at 10, 11. Sometimes I was going to my work at 1 o'clock, so I didn't have fixed schedule. So that's why it helped me, to do whatever I want. What vitamins I was taking multivitamin, this one, prenatal, raw prenatal. I was taking coenzyme Q10, ubiquinol. So I was taking 100 milligrams in the morning and 100 milligrams during my lunchtime. Then I was taking zinc, but it doesn't influence your fertility. But for me, I thought, okay, I would take zinc, and I was taking Vitex. Vitex you take in the morning on an empty stomach. I was taking 2 pills in the morning. Also, I was taking iron. Maybe you saw some of my previous videos where I was talking that I'm iron deficient, but I knew that in order to get pregnant, your iron level should be really on top, because your egg, when it travels from fallopian tubes, it can die just because it doesn't have enough oxygen. And at some point I was like, why everybody is talking about iron? And I knew that I'm iron deficient. Then I started to control my iron, and I was eating meat, and my body didn't absorb iron from food. So I started to take iron pills, these pills. I was taking 2 per day, despite the dose supposed to be 3, but I was taking 2 and plus vitamin C. You have to remember that vitamin C helps iron absorption. And you cannot drink tea or coffee 1 hour before taking iron and 1 hour after you took iron. You have to remember that. Calcium also prevents absorption of iron. You also have to remember about that. Basal temperature helped me to discover that I'm pregnant on the 3rd day. Even when the tests, they were negative, and I was so upset. Despite looking at the chart, I realized that I'm pregnant, but tests were negative, and I was like, what to do? And then, once we went to our friends, and at some point I thought that, okay, maybe I'm pregnant. So I decided to do the test, and the test didn't show anything, but the test actually showed something, but I didn't see that faint line. I left that test in our bathroom, and I was so pissed off, and I left it in the bathroom, and we came home from our friends, and I didn't see anything at that time. Next day, when I was brushing my teeth, and under some angle I saw a faint line, I was like, oh my god, no way, I can't believe it. So, but they were those tests which are first responders. So I talked to my friends, and I was like, I see the faint line, but it's not like very strong line. And my friend told me, listen, if you see even a faint line, it means you're pregnant. I was like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, you're pregnant. So my advice, measure your basal temperature. Yes, it is pretty hard, but this is the best way to see your ovulation and to see if you're pregnant or not. If you like this video, don't forget to give me likes, and if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please click that button, red button, subscribe, and if you have some questions, you can write them down in the comment section below. See you soon. Bye bye.